Okay, we all live.
Okay. Good evening and welcome to the Community Board 10's Police and Public Safety Committee meeting. I am Chris Ellis and I chair the committee. We have 3 items on the agenda. One is Kitty Kerens, 9715, 9717 3rd Avenue. That's for a new liquor license. We have Blossom Diner, LLC, wine, beer, and cider application, 8518 5th Avenue. And we also have High Dankery, that's for a new cannabis application, 7815 3rd Avenue. 3 items. First item, Kitty Kernes, this is the first item on the agenda. Is there anybody here representing Kitty Kernes? Hi, how are you?
How are you?
And your name is?
John Bennett.
And Mr. Bennett. Okay. You have your hours of operation Monday through Sunday, 11 a.m. to 4 a.m.?
Yes.
All right. You have music 10 p.m. to 1 a.m.?
Yes.
All right. Are you currently the owner?
No.
No.
No, I'm the one applying for the license.
Correct. Now, did you just purchase the place? Because I know this place establishment has been in business for a while.
I'll explain to you briefly. The establishment there, the owner actually passed away about a year ago.
Okay.
And the family just cannot handle it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And offered me to, they said they were going to close down.
You're right.
And I said, okay. I spoke with the landlord and hence applying for a license to see if I can take it over.
I understand.
I'm in the business a lot of time in the neighborhood.
Are you the manager there now?
No.
No.
John is the owner of another establishment in Ward 10, Indigo Murphy's.
Okay. I went over the application and my concern is the hours of operation, right? Is it currently open at these hours?
Yes.
It is, right? Has there been any adverse history?
No, I checked with the police. There's no adverse history. There were some noise complaints. About kind of a month in the past 2 years, all were closed out. We've had no complaints here at CB10. I could tell you that most of the 311s were between, midnight and 1 a.m. Some 11 p.m. So it seemed like it was a special event it seemed like only 1 or 2 days a month.
Yeah, okay. I think you had open mic night.
Maybe.
They do
Maybe
an open
that's-
mic night.
Maybe
I would
maybe
say that
that's
was
probably-
probably on a weekend, maybe, a busy night, people smoking outside usual.
I know. See, our only concern with the board is that you're closing at 4 a.m. I know by New York State law, you're allowed to close at 4 o'clock in the morning. But we're trying to get away from that in the board because usually a lot of problems happen with bars in the area between 2 and 4 a.m.
Right.
Right. I'll give you an example, like Catch 22 had a stabbing recent, last year.
I know.
You know about it. All right. And prior to that, I had spoken to the owner and asked him if he would consider closing earlier, and he didn't want to, so. But are you willing to close earlier? Is my thing. I know you're allowed to by state.
Yeah.
All right.
If there are issues,
Mhm.
I guess I'd definitely take a look at closing earlier.
Yeah, I understand, but I know closing it, trying to get my words in correctly. I know you have music between 10 p.m. and 1 a.m. All right, for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I looked up and you said you might have an occasional DJ.
They do now at the moment, and
Mhm.
yes, I would possibly be looking at that, yeah.
Yeah,
But again, it'll be from 1 a.m.
all right. Now I looked up the certificate of occupancy. All right, and you had 2 locations, it's 2 addresses and 35 people per address, correct? But the first floor, it says entertainment limited to 3 stringed instruments and 1 family. I don't know what 1 family is, and this is dated 1979, unless there's a more recent C of O.
I think that's the most recent.
Yeah. Any questions from board members?
Yeah, I have a question about the 50 complaints that were made to 311. And then it says they were closed out, so It's a little confusing to me.
Yeah, so and on a 311 complaint, sometimes there's a disposition that reads, the condition was founded, you know, a summons was issued. And I didn't have that in those instances. Most of them said that the officers arrived and didn't find didn't find the condition. There was nothing that confirmed whether or not there was an issue. It's not on the local precinct's radar. It wasn't on our radar. We looked in our complaint logs. We had no complaints or any calls about this establishment. We went back 5 years and we didn't have anything here. So, you know, usually neighbors will reach out to us,
Right.
if there's an issue. So there was about 1 or 2 a month.
So this is an establishment that has been there for a really long time and it's open now?
Yeah.
Yes, it's open now.
How are they managing in the absence of the owner?
Yeah.
Their son is actually doing it with a staff member.
The son right now is doing it with a staff member, is what the
I-
response was, but I'll tell you that we did public notice and we didn't receive any calls.
Good. Okay, my questions are answered.
Thank you.
Maybe we could have have the new owner come back to check in with us after a period of time.
John, if this all works out for you, will you be spending your time at Kitty's or between the two?
Well, the one that I have on Fort Hamilton
Mhm.
might be closing because they're selling the building and my lease is expiring, so this is why I'm
Okay,
deciding to move. So I don't know if I'm still going to be there.
Yeah.
But I have a manager lined up
gotcha, okay.
for either place, you know? Who's many, many years to it.
Very long time.
Any other questions? Elizabeth? There's her hand.
Just a comment, it seems like people really love this place and are very devoted to it, and it's nice to think about it continuing to go on. It's been around for a while. Always nice to have an Irish pub around. So, anyway, I hope they're successful.
The cozy spot.
We like anything, Jonathan?
No, just that I'd like to see it continue.
Okay.
Yes.
So the way we do this, we look to deny your application unless you agree to following stipulation. And this is my motion. I'm going to read a stipulation. The premise will operate as a restaurant / tavern. Correct. You did give us a menu. There will be no sale, consumption of alcohol on the premise until the appropriate license is issued by the SLA. You currently do have a license and so it's under someone else. I understand it. Applicants will not serve or allow bring your own booze until license is obtained. Your owner or manager will be on site during all hours of operation. The hours of operation will be Monday through Sunday, 11 a.m. to 4 a.m. Music, Thursday, 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. The Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Saturday, 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Sorry. So again, music, Thursday and Friday, 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. Saturday, 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. In the stipulation, I'm going to put, should there arise any problems, we will call you back in and discuss. Okay?
Absolutely, absolutely, no problem. As I said, I'm in the business 30+ years and I don't think I've had maybe 3 complaints over 30 years, you know, so. I live in the neighborhood, so when I hear noise, I complain myself. So.
There will be no smoking permitted. There will be no outdoor music. The doors and windows remain closed with any amplified music. Background recorded and/or music sound levels will remain below the level permitted by the New York City Noise Code. Once the State Liquor Authority license is obtained, the community board may call upon the applicant to address any concerns that may arise. There will be at least 20% visibility view into the establishment at eye level. The applicant agrees that should it change its method of operation, it will give notice and meet with the community board committee at least 45 days in advance of any such change. Any second? Any discussion? Any discussion on the motion? Okay, all in favor? Aye. All right. Good luck.
Thank you.
We have a meeting
On
on
Monday?
16th.
The 16th?
It's going to be at the Norwegian Christian.
Yep.
So you're invited to come,
Yeah,
because the full board then will.
the full board some board members may have some questions that may not be able to answer.
I'll be
So we
there.
suggest you do come.
Thank you, John.
Thanks,
John,
guys.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
Mr. Bennett. Good luck to you.
Good luck, everybody.
Next item on the agenda is Blossom Diner for a weird wine, beer, and cider application, 8518 Fifth Avenue. The current establishment does have a public assembly issued by the fire department and it's issued by the buildings department. Currently, there are 29 tables with 80 seats. It has a capacity of 104. There is only background music at the establishment. Sound, background. And we have Mrs. Adora. And you are?
Charles, the attorney. They open at 8.
Bitterman,
Right.
yes.
My mistake is they open at 8.
Oh, okay, because I have the hours of operation 7 AM to 7:30 PM, so it's 8 AM?
8 AM.
And that's the kitchen too, correct?
Yes. So it's open Monday through Sunday, 8 AM to 7:30 PM.
Yes.
This place used to be Hinch's,
Stewart's.
Stewart's,
Stewart's.
and been the diner, I believe, for God knows how many years.
I know the COO is from 1946 and it was for an ice cream parlor.
Mhm.
Mhm.
That's what I think she is.
It's
He
from-
said she's supposed to
Yeah,
be
Hinch's.
there.
Let's see. I did pull up the CO. Let's see. Yeah, first floor ice cream parlor. Mhm. Okay. This is only for wine, beer, and cider. Any questions from any board members?
Yeah.
No adverse history.
Not one film,
Yeah.
nothing,
No, I know.
zero.
No more high school kids?
We went back 5 years.
That used to be the high school hangout. yes,
Oh,
so.
right,
All right.
different era.
Yeah, different.
Any questions? Okay. As I did before, we look to deny your application unless you agree to following stipulation. The premise will operate as a restaurant. There will be no sale or consumption of alcohol on the premise until the appropriate license issued by the state liquor authority. Applicants will not serve or allow you to bring your own booze until license is obtained. The owner and manager will be on site during all hours of operation. The hours of operation will be Monday through Sunday, 8 AM to 7:30 PM. There will be no smoking permitted. There will be no outdoor music. The doors and windows remain closed with any amplified music. Background recorded indoor music sound levels remain below the level permitted by New York City Noise Code. Once the state liquor authority license is obtained, the committee board may call upon the applicant to address any concerns that may arise. There will be at least 20% visibility view into the establishment at eye level. The applicant agrees that should change its method of operation, it will give notice and meet with the community board committee at least 45 days in advance of any such change. I said it's just for wine, beer, and cider. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Like we said, we have a meeting on the 18th at the Norwegian Christian Home.
This Monday.
Okay, next Monday. Okay, that's on the website for the time.
Yeah.
Okay,
So, there may be a question, maybe just the applicant wants to attend.
just,
Yeah.
okay, I'll let her know. Yeah.
And we'll make sure it was on the initial invite letter, but we'll send it to you again tomorrow.
It's okay, I got it.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Okay. good.
Thanks very much. Okay, we're all set. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Careful out
Thank you.
there.
Good luck to
Yeah.
you. Yeah. Hopefully it's calm outside now.
Yeah.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is for 7815 Third Avenue. This is for a cannabis dispensary. Lotus LLC doing business as High Dankery. It has the applicant number is 2024-000134. The hours of operation on Monday through Thursday, 10 AM to 10 PM. Friday and Saturday, 10 AM to 11 PM. Sunday, 11 AM to 9 PM. Comes out to a total of 84 hours per week. And we have here Mr. Joseph, Mr. Joseph, and his attorney.
Eugene Stravinsky.
I have just a couple of questions. All right. Now, before, at this location, there used to be a establishment called Brooklyn Smokes. Were you involved with that one at all? Have you ever been convicted of a crime? A crime. Have you ever been convicted?
No, like, marijuana crime, I'm sorry, like the car license.
Because there is in the applicant process, they ask you if you have been convicted of a crime, usually of marijuana.
Yeah.
I believe it's given preference.
Mhm.
Okay, that's why I'm asking.
No, he is a holder of one of the cord.
He does have a card license?
Yes.
A conditional
Oh.
adult use recreational
Yes,
dispensary
that's his
license?
license.
Okay, because I didn't see that on the application. Or on
On our.
ours.
On our questionnaire.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. You did.
Mhm.
My apologies. Your card license is 2024-00134. Now, you do say you're gonna be using security guards as employees. Are they gonna be employees of yours or are they gonna be contracted? And are they gonna be bonded
Paying third party company.
through a third-party company? So you're gonna hire a contracting company to give you security guards,
Yeah,
is what you're saying. All right. Do you know what company it is? Have you decided yet?
I'm looking into a few companies and I'm on one today.
It's all right. You don't have to tell me. Now, do you have an active lease or a conditional lease with the premises?
He has a current lease that he obtained.
Yeah, all right. So you do have a current lease?
Yeah.
Is it a conditional lease or is it?
It is not conditional.
Obviously, it shouldn't be conditional because it's usually conditional if you can get a license. Till you get a license, but you obviously have a card license already.
That's right.
Okay.
And the lease, I mean, the owner is aware of
Of what the
business.
establishment is going to be?
and it's specified.
All right. Who's going to manage the day-to-day operations? Is that going to be you or a manager or
I will be the one.
you're going to start out managing?
Yeah, then later on get somebody else.
Now, I looked on the diagram and I see you have CCTV. And you're going to be using like an ADT system. But on the diagram, I only see location. I don't know if it's just one camera or is that where the server is going to be?
That's just the room where we're gonna have the server.
Now, I see you have the use of the yard also. Correct.
Yeah, well, we don't have any plans for it.
Well, that was my next question. Are you going to be utilizing the yard to smoke out there? Because there is a day school, not a day school. There is a,
Nursery school.
huh?
It's nursery.
It's a nursery school
Mhm.
next door.
No, we don't plan to.
It's called Two to Time,
Two at a time.
Two to Time Nursery. You don't plan on having any type of events? Did you file in another community board for an application or location?
No.
Don't mind me, I ask questions. And I see you're gonna have a delivery service. When you do your delivery service, how are you gonna do an age verification? When the driver, whoever does delivery, how are you going to establish age verification?
Through our POS COBRA system, there's like the ID verification where you can scan the ID.
Mhm.
So we're gonna do deliveries later on, but we do plan on doing it. We're gonna do it when we get more established. You have to apply for a separate license. Or something.
For delivery?
Just let them know when you're ready to start.
Well, the Office of Cannabis Management does have to know about it. I don't know if you
Yeah,
do need a
it's a
separate
process.
license. I know there is a separate process probably.
Yeah, it's a separate process.
And I looked through your employee manual. And you'll be hiring, basically, you're gonna have a bud tender, a security personnel, and a manager. Those are the only personnel you're gonna have at the establishment at the time, 3 people?
Yeah, it's not a big store.
No, I know, it's a small location.
It's not a big location, but we'll need a bunch of employees.
And they do have. Let's see, what this, you did get a proximity protection location. Okay. You aware of it?
Yes.
Okay, you're aware of it.
Yeah, I just found out on Sunday.
Okay. Because, yeah, I just checked today. Wasn't there last week, I'll tell you that. Okay. Okay, any questions from any board members?
Yes.
Ruth?
Yeah, my understanding was that they this kind of place has to be a certain distance from a daycare or a school. I don't understand how it could be next door.
Well, in the rules, it has my understanding.
Yeah.
That it has to occupy the entire building. It
Correct.
cannot be a portion of a building. It has to be on the same road within, I think it's 500 feet.
Correct.
But it has to, the school or the nursery has to occupy the entire building. 2 at a time does not occupy the entire building.
2 at a time only occupies the second floor.
Yeah, but I mean, they have a daycare program, they have kids there. What's the difference if they're downstairs and upstairs or just on one floor? I don't get it. I don't see why that makes a difference.
I mean, that's what it says in the law. That's what they.
That's the way they wrote it, and they've already gotten the proximity protection on it.
So the location they deemed acceptable.
The Office of Cannabis Management has deemed that location acceptable right now.
With this understanding of the proximity to a daycare program. Okay, I get it.
I would think.
Well, we have to know.
No, I mean, I've read some of the other decisions by other community boards, and the language is such that the response when a school is mentioned is that it has to occupy the entire building,
Like a public school,
like a public
a
school.
UPK that occupies the entire building.
You know, like we had one, further north on 3rd Avenue near the new school on Senator Street. And that proximity protection was removed. I mean, it could be part of the.
I remember when we started doing these, there was a place that wanted to open, I think it was on 11th Avenue, and was right next door to a daycare.
Correct. That ran a UPK center, but it did occupy both
But
floors.
it occupied.
Oh, okay, okay. I learned something new. Thank you.
Elizabeth?
Yeah, okay, I guess, well, on that front, there is a senior or elder center on that block, if I recall correctly. It's like a senior assistance area. I don't know if that would count, but it seems kind of counterintuitive that this is the way the law is written, because I don't think you could have a daycare occupying the entire building on 3rd Avenue, because it's residential in the top 2 floors generally. So it seems, I don't know, maybe problematic. But the question I actually had to ask was whether that second door is there in the floor plan. If it's already there, when I've walked by, it looks like there's only one. You walk in and you're right in the whole center area, but maybe there is a second door that's been built where they check IDs.
So, Mr. Joseph, I see that you have the floor plan. Have you done construction yet?
No, we haven't started yet.
You haven't done.
We're
So
waiting for the-
is this you saw the floor plan, Elizabeth?
Yes, that's what I was referring to. Yeah.
He built.
In other words,
Other.
Do you require permits to do any building on this? It's all interior. Now, are you going to be occupying also the basement?
Yeah, we have the basement.
Are you going to be doing any storage there?
Yeah, we'll use it for storage and like garbage.
Mhm.
before we
So-
go out.
Why don't you explain to us, when someone walks in on the procedure, is there a queuing system? How is IDs checked? Are they scanned? Are they, what type of system do you have?
We have the covert POS system,
Mhm.
which comes with ID verification. And that's when we're gonna use our security. So when somebody walks in, they're gonna be like, the security will be like a receptionist. We're gonna build there's like a big space. So between that, we're gonna build like a space will be the reception area. So you won't even be able to see the inside. It'll just be a wall and the security. That's if you're walking
Okay.
outside. Then there'll be a door where you walk inside after you're successfully confirm that you're 21, and then you can go in.
Mhm.
You can make a purchase. Without ID, physical ID, you can't enter the store.
Okay. The display area, that's only for display, correct? That's not for the actual sale. Correct.
You know, for the sale, you have to have ID too.
I understand that. So someone walks in, they show ID, they get scanned in, they enter, and now you have the display area. All right, so do they pick the items and is it taken out of the display or is it
You know,
going to the back? Someone has to go into the back and physically bring the item out?
we'll have some items already that's already on display, and we'll have the rest in the back for when the items that's on display, if they're bought, we'll bring more to the front. That way the bud tender don't always have to keep going to the back while there's customers there. They can just serve them right at the counter.
All right.
Chris, the owner of the building is also present in the meeting as an attendee.
Okay. And you told me the owner is aware of the establishment.
It is in the lease, and this was negotiated by council.
Okay. Elizabeth?
I was just wondering what would happen with this one with respect to the Pilo Arts, which also seems to be going forward since they're so close together. Are they both going to be there, or, I mean,
Yeah,
they're just about 4 blocks away.
Enough apart.
They're far enough apart. Okay, thank you.
Assume so.
Yeah.
They're 4 blocks away. Any other questions? Elizabeth, you have your hand up still. Any other questions, anybody?
I just want to add that I know there is proximity protection, but I think it's that street or the next street, there's a facility for multiple handicaps. Does that have any bearing?
Blind and multi-handicap is a storefront. It's a storefront.
Yeah.
But again, I think limited to the storefront.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Lori?
Hi.
Hi, Lori.
So I guess I'm I'm sensing, the feeling from the other committee members. It's not necessarily, strictly with regard to this applicant, but is there a limit? I mean, on the number of stores we've had a lot of applications. And it seems like, these locations are, the law is the law and it's written how it's written and they either fit within it or they don't. But in terms of just the feeling of the community, is there any feedback or recourse to give feedback about, things like there being, a decent number on 3rd Avenue near, and or those locations being near certain facilities? Is there really any opportunity for that feedback to be considered in the granting or denying of the application from the Office of Cannabis Management?
We did have a one in June where we had close to 300 to 400 people attend.
That was Pilo.
To the 84 Third Avenue location. All right, the public did have a opportunity to speak at that one, very boisterously. We did give a negative opinion on it, and it's going forward.
Right. So I'm wondering, I mean, I know this is all fairly new. I was at that meeting. There were a lot of people had a lot to say. But now, okay, so Pilo's granted. But what I'm saying is, okay, that, there really weren't any others really in the proximity of that. So maybe I can see that. So I'm saying now when we start getting more and more applications and we're getting, let's say more and more establishments, is it still serving the community? Is it for the convenience of the community? I don't recall the language of the statute, so my question is really, is it taken into consideration once you start getting closer and closer in proximity of these locations to each other, these establishments to each?
In one of the meetings of the Office of Cannabis Management, they were looking to circumvent some of the proximity of the 1,000-foot rule, if I'm correct, and to bring it to the needs of the community, as they were stating in their language. So I don't know if that change had gone in, but it's up to the Office of Cannabis Management if they wanted to go below the 1,000-foot rule.
Right.
In certain-
They can make a rule change.
And yeah, they can make the rule change. I don't know if that answers your question, Laurie.
No, it does. It does. And I think that, you know, as more and more applications are heard and we're seeing that more and more are being granted, maybe it's something to keep in mind, in terms of when we do give our feedback and we do, you know, give our vote. I know a lot of times, sometimes we'll vote and say, okay, well, we want to send a letter though, you know, along with this explaining our concerns or something like that.
Can I chime in here? I think, just to add to what Lori is saying, I think one of the questions is, does the community really need, a marijuana store every 5 blocks?
Does the community need as many bars?
Well,
No.
that's a good question. And
Yeah, but written into that law, there is express language that states if it's in the interest of the community, and it does give the community the right to give the feedback. And if it's not in the community interest, that statute does provide precisely for that allowance.
Correct, and there are hearings for that too, for the 200 and 500-foot rule.
If
Yep.
I could just echo sort of what's being, oh, sorry, go ahead, Kristen.
Is there a possibility for a member of the community just to speak? I don't really.
Absolutely.
Yeah, my name is Tom Kelly. I lived my whole life in the neighborhood. I went to OLA in Port Hamilton and Brooklyn College, and I went through college by working at Embers and Skinflints. And I'm just tired of going all the way to Manhattan to get my occasional cannabis. And I was here the other day in the rain under the awning, and I saw the thing. This is just a fluke in the window, and I said I would come by and share my thoughts.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Kelly.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I wanted to make sure the board is done speaking, but can I say a few words?
Sure, yeah, absolutely, please. You probably do better than I can.
Thank you. So my name is Eugene Stravinsky. I'm an attorney, but I'm also a resident of this community for 12 years, and I myself support the opening of these stores for these very reasons. Now, I saw the histrionics at the last full meeting this summer. I will assure you, with everything I know, that no politician is coming to the next one to object to these guys. This is a family business. The election is over. The nonsense is over. I totally hear the concern, right? How many dispensaries should there be per block? Well, forget bars. How many liquor stores do we have on each block? And that's the right analogy. I think we have more liquor stores than bars probably in the neighborhood. And each one, you know, manages, and the neighborhood hasn't gone away. I think this law, I would guess, was written in a way not to give community boards too much power, because then no license would ever be granted in many.
Yeah, because we're only allowed to give an opinion.
So
we can't deny or.
And we are here in person because I think this business will be a good member of the local community. This is not Philo Arts. I don't know what they are, who are the owners. This is the owner. He didn't throw his application at your door. I saw some of your videos.
Very good.
You know, he's here now. He will avail himself in the future. And I think that's probably the type of business. I don't know if you've issued any pro recommendations.
We have.
So, you know, this feels like a kind of business that you could probably support. Thank you.
Elizabeth?
Sorry, there's some background noise over here. I wanted to say, I mean, this just to sort of echo what Lori was saying. I mean, generally speaking, state laws make special exceptions for the city because the city is a unique place, right? We're all together. We have exceptions for health. Certain vaccinations are required in the city. They're not required in the whole state. Education is managed by the city separately from the state. Transit, speed limits, all these things are city, they're specifically reserved for the city. And here we have, 500 feet, 1,000 feet. If you're living up in upstate, 1,000, 2 dispensaries within 1,000 feet of one another is quite different from here.
But if the population of less than 20,000 is 2,000 feet.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, fair enough.
I just wanted to bring that out.
But I mean, I'm not opposed to them opening legally, but it does seem like the law needs to be looked at a little bit more. And just because we have the population that can necessarily support all of these places doesn't mean that we necessarily need to have them on every block or every 3 blocks or whatever. I mean, I think it is still possible to get cannabis without leaving the neighborhood.
We did have an application on, I believe it was 68th Street, between 69th and 68th Street. And they did get a proximity protection. And we wrote the notice to the Office of Cannabis Management that it was within 500 feet of a new public school, which probably wasn't on their map at the time because the school just opened this September. And they did remove that proximity protection and thanked us for it.
Yeah, I mean, Tutor Time has little babies, like they have, 3-month-old babies there, not just 3, 4, 5 kids. Whatever.
I don't know
the
their hours to the time.
The babies are not there at night, just to be clear.
I would imagine too, there's the issue of basic supply and demand. If there's a place on every block, not everybody's gonna make a living, right?
Well, that's the other thing,
That's the other thing. I mean, we had such a proliferation of unlicensed establishments,
Right.
which was this
I mean,
location.
the gentleman did give me a business plan. His business plan is excellent. I will say that.
Per the lease as well, there will not be smoking in the backyard. Right,
Correct.
and we don't think the
Well, that
babies
was
are
one
going
of
to
my
come into
questions
the
to you.
store. Yeah, that's right. Yes,
Right.
they're committing to not smoking in the backyard.
My also concern is if people walk outside and start smoking,
Mhm.
is your security personnel going to scatter them?
That's to the extent allowed by law.
I understand. All right. Any other questions? All right, I have a little stipulation. I don't know if you want to hear it. It'd be my thing that we look to render I guess, positive opinion.
Yep.
With the following stipulation. All right, your hours of operation will be Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Friday and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. Sunday, 11 to 9 p.m. That's the hours that you stipulated for 84 hours. Security guards will be utilized. We're utilizing a bonded company. No smoking consumption will be permitted on the premises. If people congregate outside, the security personnel will disperse. A queuing access system will be used. In other words, if you have lines outside, they'd be queued by their phone, they go scatter somewhere else. You can call them back in later.
Yeah.
The applicant will not exceed the certificate of occupancy. I don't think there is a C of O there.
Take that out. That's actually probably-
The applicant provided a floor plan, we did that.
Yeah.
We did an employee manual. Okay. There will be an ID check at the alcove. It's gonna have. The applicant will utilize an ID scan system as required by Office of Cannabis Management. The applicant will utilize cameras in all access points. If there are glazing requirements, the applicant will meet with such requirements as outlined in the Marijuana Taxation Act, MRTA. Prior to opening, the committee board will have a meeting with the applicant to review the security plan, floor plan, and any concerns that may arise. Any discussion?
I just have a question. It's a general question. How do people make payment? Does it have to be cash? Are they allowed to use credit cards in marijuana places these days?
Currently, I don't believe they're allowed to use any credit cards because marijuana is not federally legal at this time.
But
Let's regulate the credit cards.
so it's all cash?
Cash
I'm
or
sorry.
debit, I
Debit.
believe.
Yes.
Debit,
See, I'm learned.
and it can't be Venmo either.
I don't know about that.
No.
No, I don't
It's sent
Okay.
back.
All right.
No.
It could be traveler's checks. Anyone has, I'm joking. Okay. Thank you.
So any other questions or discussion? Elizabeth, you have your hand up.
Yeah, I mean, just at the risk of over speaking on this issue, I mean, having walked down Third Avenue, if you walk in that area on that block, 5 o'clock PM, 6 o'clock PM, 8 o'clock in the morning, the way that tutor time lets people in is they have to buzz up. So there are strollers that congregate on that block, like right on that sidewalk there. And so people are waiting with their kids in the stroller before they can go upstairs. So I just want to point that out. I think I'm going to vote no, and that will be why. That's what.
I also wanted to, I feel very bad. I'm sure, I think that, these, owners would be an asset to the community. But I know from other meetings that there's such strong opposition to a proliferation of these stores in the neighborhood. And it's not that we've had a chance yet to test them out because I don't think we have any legal ones yet. But I mean, it all sounds very positive with the exception of the proximity, what we feel is not a good proximity to this place next door. And for that reason, even though all the boxes are checked, I feel that I'm going to have to vote against this. I just wanted to explain myself, where I'm coming from with this. And I'm sure you'll get it anyway. So, if that happens, I wish you lots of luck. But I feel that it's my job, representing as a representative of my community, to vote the way I feel, based on the messages I've been getting from community members. So thank you for listening.
So,
Motion, you have a second, we had discussion,
all those in favor of rendering a positive opinion, please verify. Yes,
it's four,
4. All opposed?
two.
Two.
Lori, Lori.
3 opposed.
Okay, so the motion carries. 4-3.
Now, we're gonna have a community board meeting on December 18th. I do suggest you do attend. Right, there
Yes,
will be a lot of questions from board members. Right, some that I won't be able to answer, some that I'm going to have you answer.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay,
Is that event here, sir?
no, that's.
No, that'll be at the Norwegian Christian.
Or just Zoom,
Where's that?
12:50.
You can't zoom it, I'm sorry, that's an in-person meeting.
No, I'm just making sure he's available and not traveling, and I
It's on
think.
our website.
Okay, I'll check it out. Thank you, appreciate it.
Okay,
That's-
any new or old business?
I have some kind of old business that
Sure.
I think Elizabeth had mentioned, a while back. We were having a conversation about pedestrian safety and one of the intersections, Bay Ridge Avenue and Shore Road.
Thank you for your hospitality, folks.
Thank you.
Lots of-
Good luck.
lots of
Good luck, folks. See you guys.
Um,
Good luck.
Thank you. Good luck.
Good luck.
Tracy Bernardus,
Bye.
Councilor Brennan invited us to attend an on-site meeting there with the local police department and DOT. There's been red light and speed cameras that have been requested there. The red light expansion did happen, but it's probably not gonna go fully into effect until next year. But that was submitted, and also an eye at looking at some, DOT is gonna study some additional possible modifications, and then we'll get back to us probably through, you know, at the completion of the study, but I just wanted to let you know that there was, work there, and we do have a new precinct commander.
Mhm.
And I did meet with him and have a conversation specifically about some of the pedestrian safety, speeding enforcement concerns that have been raised from the committee. So I just wanted to share that with the committee.
Thank you, Josephine. I was a real broken record about that pier for that area for a long time, so I appreciate it.
No, you're not the only one.
No, you're not, and you know, the senator's office and councilman's office, I mean, you know, arranged the meeting, and I thought it was great. Because a lot, you know, it's been an issue. I was going through some old DOT requests. We have DOT files that are probably about 2 feet high, from requests over the years, and we were just going through them in preparation of our, you know, the new ad hoc committee, and it's been a concern for a long time, and I think it's good to always have a fresh look, and I just wanted to share that update with you all. I know that was a location of concern.
Okay.
Okay. So, a motion.
Motion to adjourn?
Is Elizabeth, is that your
I
motion?
was to say one other quick thing. I have noticed less drag racing. Like the noises, it is there. It seems to be less frequent. I don't want to jinx it, but it seems to be less frequent than it was. So maybe that's a positive. So thank you.
He's interim. He's not been, but his name is Captain John DeSero, and he has been very responsive.
Fun fact.
He's been
Yeah.
proactive
That's a nice one.
on a lot
Oh,
of.
okay, Jonathan, knows the new.
Elizabeth, I agree with you, except this afternoon at about 2 o'clock, somebody, I don't know if you heard it.
Yes, I
Josephine,
did
somebody
hear it.
was
I was gonna
burning
say,
rubber like you wouldn't believe.
outside the office.
Oh,
I did go out to try to get a plate number, but I could not, in time, but.
I know recently around Dyke Beach Golf Course, they towed 37 vehicles
37 trucks.
out of there in one night.
The big
So-
cross?
So the new precinct commander put that together.
Is that because they're getting ready for Dyke lights?
Not ready, it's up and going.
They need the spots.
By the way, I don't know if you saw this, but Julie Thumb posted this on next door Bay Ridge. Her daughter is in Austria, and she was riding the subway, and she sent a picture home. They were advertising Dyke lights in Austria.
Wonderful.
We did have a interagency meeting in advance of the season, and did speak to the mayor's community affairs unit, and we have received traffic control agents there. We did ask for additional lighting for pedestrian safety at 86 and 12, which is part of that staging area, and as you know, it's getting very congested already.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's it.
okay.
That's our motion to.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay,
All in favor?
all right.
Aye.
Thank